Paradise World Videos, Torrevieja, Costa Blanca. We're at the famous Plaza Constitution and the church bells are ringing, which means it's 10 o'clock and we've got the latest news here from Spain and of course the latest on the riots that's been going on in Spain. We've got the most wanted man found here hiding on the Costa from Italy, and also we've got protests about more solar plants going up all over Spain, and also we've got crazy news that Christmas is celebrated in a town here in August. It's a corrupt councillor they want to get charged for the second time, and also they've got a policeman being attacked here in Torrevieja. And also illegal brothels here. So yeah, we've got a lot to crack on with. But before we start, I'd like to say a big thank you to people that have been buying me coffees. And anyone else that likes the content of the latest news and the videos, down in the description you'll find all the information of my email address, coffees, and if you want to become a member, really appreciate all the support from all the people that are supporting Paradise World Videos. But we're taking a stroll around Torrevieja up the promenade on this beautiful morning, 19th of July, 10 o'clock. Get a crack on with the latest news, of course, is the biggest news. It's worldwide. It's been shown on all the TVs all over Spain, even on India TV, and they're saying unrest in Spain. Big news, as you all know. It's been going on for over 7 days. The pensioner got beat up by a 19-year-old immigrant. And it kicked off a lot of tensions. As we all know, far-right groups in Spain managed to draw up more than 100 people, all on actually beamed on the latest Telegram group. And the main ringleader for it, they've actually arrested and took down the group, as I reported before. This has all been kicking off in Torre Pacheco, but it's all quieting down now. Video was shown on social media, as I mentioned before, and the far rights all went down now from all different areas, and yeah, there was over 100 people turning up at one time, and a lot of police were put into the area to take on the big problem now, and yeah, racial tensions. And despite all that going on, surely this didn't help the economy with all these immigrants. There was over 300 fines issued, 60 people arrested. The main ringleader that was inciting it on there is far-right platform on Telegram, as well as a 19-year-old that actually beat up this poor pensioner, as you can see in the video. All the local traders and restaurants all in the area, they all had to close, so they lost a week's worth of business. But it's all died down now, and the police have apparently got it all under control. They was all gathering in the Plaza del Tormento, and that's where all the shops had to be boarded up and the businesses were lost. But all this kicking off and all these immigrants coming into Spain, they reckon 10,500 people lost their lives in sea last year, and the same year they reckon the data says around 46,800 African immigrants arrived in Spain on the Canary Islands, and it's only getting worse. But old Sanchez says he loves them. He says it's good. We need these people here to boost the economy because of the dying age of the pensioners. They're like living to like 86 and they need people to replace them. But I don't think they're actually working, these people. They're like street traders and causing trouble. And so it's not just England that have got immigration problems. And they're saying the Spanish figures here now in Spain that actually live in Spain is almost 50 million. And they're saying the growth is happening because of foreign arrivals. I mean, all these people coming from England are doing it properly with visas and everything. I'm sure these people don't have to go back after 180 days. Just arrive on a boat and they get welcomed. So yeah, it's all under control now, all down in Torre Pacheco in Murcia, and it's literally died to a standstill now. But that is what has been going on, and like I say, it's been a never-ending story all over the news channels all over the world. But I'll tell you what, we've got a lot of other news to crack on with. You've all probably noticed the price shot right up in the supermarkets and everything, and they're blaming the increase on the war in Israel, and they're saying it was going to happen, and that's why we're paying so much more. But on the flip side of it, we've got some good news. As you know, olive oil here is known as liquid gold, and shot up absolutely fortunes. Well, the good news is it's come down 46%. And you know the Spanish love a bit of the old oil, especially on their Spanish breakfast in the morning. So yeah, inflation's shooting up, but the Spanish oil, the liquid gold's coming down. The other bit of news we've got as well, we've got the world's best airport, and they've done a survey out of 250 airports, but you ain't going to guess what one it is. And it was Spain, of course, that comes second in Europe. And they're saying that there are 250 airports they looked at, 68 countries around the world. And actually, the ones that are doing the right things, you know, like flight arrivals on time and having proper shops and everything. And they've done all this data and survey. And as you know, we've got big airports here, Madrid, Barcelona, and Alicante airport that's breaking records every month for a mass amount of tourists coming in. But it was none of them. So they were ranking these airports, like I say, on certain things. Punctuality was 60% on customer feedback, 20% was on the quality of food, and 20% comes from primary, from like the help they get on the airport from all the, you know, the airport staff and everything. So this was all done on their data from the 1st of June 2024 up to May the 31st this year. And you ain't going to believe it. The airport that come top is Bilbao. Didn't know anyone comes through that airport. So it's held the crown. Bilbao has held the crown for the second best airport in Europe. Even though it was the second best in the whole of Europe and of course the best in Spain, it was sitting 16th in the world. So it can't have been that great. While we're on the subject of airports, the police have done a big bust here in Spain. They've been monitoring it for a while. It all started off at an airport in Tenerife. And they've arrested 66 people, and that includes 3 minors. They're saying they're looking at other 18 people. They're still under investigation. And this big fraud what was going on at the airports, yeah, pretty clever really. It started at South Tenerife airport in Spain. Going back 3 or 4 months, and they've been monitoring these people, and yeah, quite a clever little scam. It was a VAT scam, and what they were doing, they were going in the airports, booking the cheapest flight going for like €20, and then what they were doing was buying everything in duty free with a boarding pass, and then going out with stash loads of stuff in their old bags, and netted literally 230 grand. The police said they recovered 70 grand so far, so yeah, dodged the VAT out of loads of money. 20 quid for a flight, but you're going thousands on the old VAT you're saving. They all get caught in the end, so yeah, they've caught that big mob, yeah, massive fraud. We've got another big case that's just happened last week. They've arrested one of Italy's most wanted fugitive, hiding on Torrevieja Costa. And the Spanish National Police that done it, they've arrested this Simon Battiroma, one of Italy's most wanted fugitives. He was born in 1989 and he's said to be one of the biggest leaders of the Serrano clan in Italy, linked to big massive criminal organisation and operating from Naples. And he had been like doing this kind of network of drugs all over Europe. But he could be looking at a 24-year sentence now he's been caught. He started this investigation a year ago, and it was the national police, of course, they do watch and monitor what's going on, and it was going on from Alicante, Madrid and Malaga, and he was working with Italy, of course, and they'd been operating for a long time. But they actually nabbed him once he was leaving his premises, going to his car in an urbanisation on Torrevieja Costa. A big organisation of logistics, shipping cocaine and all kinds of drugs all around Europe. But now he's been extradited to Italy, and yeah, like I mentioned, could be facing up to 24 years. Got another case here as well in Torrevieja. Police turned up to a domestic where the boyfriend, or could be the husband, I'm not sure, actually beat the woman up. She had a busted lip and everything, so the police had turned up, and before he knew it, he was getting attacked. 2 24-year-olds and a 25-year-old started attacking the policeman and throwing bottles and literally beating the copper up, and they did run away and escape, but the police caught up with them like they always do. So now they're being detained on bail and could be looking at an hefty sentence. So yeah, they're going to be charged with, of course, assaulting a policeman. They were obviously shoving him and pushing him about, like I mentioned, throwing bottles and everything. So they could be going down for a little while as well. They need to build bigger prisons if they keep catching all these criminals. Anyway, we're going to move away from crime for a little while, and next bit is pretty good really, especially if you're a pet lover and you've got dogs, because it's summer, isn't it? All the water parks are open here in Spain from June, and it gets flooded with kids and adults and everything. Well, they've got a water park now, just open, just the other side of Barcelona for dogs. Yeah, a dog water park. A proper water park and all, with all pools and splash waves and slides, everything. Perro el Agua. Of course, Perro is dogs and Agua is water, so yeah, dog park here in Barcelona. If you think of going down there, this water park is open from May to October, and it costs €16 to go in. Opens from 11 o'clock in the morning. Just next to Barcelona, La Roca del Vallès, and it's Spain's only water park designed for four-legged people, like dogs. If you think of taking your dog down there, you book it online, it costs us €16 for a dog and the owner, and if a guest just come along without a dog, it'd be €9. If you book it online, you'll get a little bit cheaper. Otherwise, if you turn up on the day, you'll end up paying €18, €2 more. Every little bit else, I suppose. So yeah, even the dogs cool off in this heat. Getting busy in it, eh? Because they're all breaking up now, all from schools. They're all flooding here to Spain, and they're all getting these rental apartments. And of course, you all heard about Airbnb, big trouble because of that new law that come out about the registration of tourist license, and there's a unique number if you're renting a property out in Spain. Well, Airbnb have now decided to give the Spanish government all the latest updates on what's going on with their people renting every month, just to keep on the good side. Because it was only last month they took 65,000 people off the platform that were illegal renting without a tourist license. So now doing a bit of crawling now, aren't they? So Airbnb managing marketing director says, yeah, he's working with authorities and transparency and really trying to make things very cooperative with the Spanish government. As you know, this law come in January. They give you a 6-month grace, and then come July the 1st, it has to be mandatory now that you have to be a unique registration number to actually rent out any tourists or any rentals here in Spain. No matter whether you've got a tourist license or not, this is another registration number you need to have, and it's got to be advertised on your rental accommodation. And of course, we're getting a lot of sun here in Spain, so it's always scorching and blaring, and solar power's come the norm, especially since we've had all these kind of blackouts. And since then, of course, more solar plants are going up, and there's one going up is San Miguel planned, and residents have been protesting about it, and they're not happy about this solar plant that they're going to put on one of these agriculture fields. It's going to be over 200 hectares of agriculture land, but residents don't want these solar powers all over the place, and they've actually got the permission to do this as well down in Rocales and Algorfa. They're going to head there with a big solar plant. Each plant will have a capacity of 10 megawatt, totaling 20 megawatt, and Spain's combined area of 25 to 46 hectares of this agriculture, unused land, they're saying. Of course, it's going to be unused, isn't it? Just to get on the good side of things. The other big news we've got here in Torrevieja, as you know, it's summer. We get 300,000 visitors just in the summer months, and alone we've got under 100,000 people actually living in Torrevieja. And by the Spanish law, you've got to have a national police station if you've got more than 50,000 residents. Well, we've got double here in Torrevieja. So now they're protesting for a police station where the bus station is. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. They're all getting excited. We've got lots of holiday makers here, and there's more flooding. And that's why they're demanding police station here. And it is law. And they're saying the bus station is soon to be moved to a relocation the other side of Torrevieja by Carrefour, the new development that's going over there, and it'll be moved probably another 2 or 3 years, the way the Spanish work. But they want to put the new national police station where the old bus station will be when it's moved. So yeah, they're pushing for this big police station, because at the moment we've only got the civil police station in Torrevieja city, which is next to the courthouse, which is right by the bus station. So yeah, well, let's see what happens there. After all, it's in their royal decree of 991-2006, written in black and white. So surely they've got to honour it, otherwise they'd be breaking the rules. And their argument is they're spending $500,000 already on security contracts here in the summer months, and other money they're spending. Talk about money, like I say, there's a lot of corruption cases going on in Spain, and you always hear about it a few years later. You've got them in prison, you've got them in court at the moment, and you've got them getting charged and investigated. And a lot of them have been caught, and there's one that just got caught, and they reckon this person that's been caught should be charged with a second offence. Torrevieja Socialist Party, PSOE, has called on Mayor Eduardo Dulan to take public responsibility after clear explanation following the conviction of a long-time political ally and former deputy mayor for the crime provocation. She was overseeing all kinds of work in her department, and she was doing the gardening contracts, the cleaning, and 230 grand's worth of work. But there's been some dodginess going, I think a few backhanders, and she's been charged, and they want to charge her even more, and they want her another 12-month suspension. In Spain, when you get charged, they ban you from office for so many years. She's been banned for 7 years from public office. They want additional 12 years to be added. Actually requesting on 2 more legal cases to go on corruption, so let's see what happens here. You know, recently I reported a lot of corruption in the Sanchez case, and yeah, they had to suspend 2 people and done his 12-point thing to tackle corruption, which I mentioned on previous news I've done, and that is all to do with courts, especially for corruption cases, speed up cases, have people going online with the data every month, declaring all their expenses and everything. So he's got a big crackdown. Since 2 of his people in his own party, as you know himself, old Sanchez is in a bit of bother, him and his wife, to do with kind of fraud, corruption cases as well. And that was ongoing, and while that was all steaming and getting hot, if you all remember, he did mention about the property tax, 100% on property tax, and everyone panicked. They thought, wow, 100 grand for a house, I've got to pay another 100 grand. No, you got it wrong. It's a VAT, and it's just stamp duty in the UK. So at the moment, averages around about 10%. So he was proposing 100%, so it was 20% VAT. It was never ever going to get in, even if he got the maximum 100%. If the party opposite didn't vote it in, and it was all diversion tactics, just to get people diverted from his own problems. So yeah, Spain and corruption, eh? You think you're in Nigeria, wouldn't you? We're up around the middle of Playa de Cura beach, and morning time, like I say, it's creeping up to 11 o'clock. Getting really busy already, and you see these sunbrellas. Well, down the far end as well, you've got some more sunbrellas, and of course the sun loungers. Well, the council here in Torrevieja has just done a massive 4-year contract for 4 beaches here in Spain, and this contract's going to bring in 1.2 million for 4 years, and the beaches they're including is La Mata, Playa Los Locos, Playa de Cura and Playa Norficus, and they're literally all along here, but all over Spain. They all have their own different contracts that bring in their own kind of money. But yeah, they've got a contract for 1.2 million euros for 4 years, and it starts from June the 1st and up to October. Talking about sun lounges and everything, and as you know, all the beach bars open this time of year. Well, down in Los Alcaceres there's a beach bar that's been there for 30 years, and the police the other day went in and bulldozed it down, and it's gone. 30 years it was there. Apparently it had been operating all them years without a licence and a permit, and wasn't paying the government any money at all. Squashed. And meanwhile, they says they've got someone already waiting, who's been waiting 2 years to get in there and put their little hut on there. Got another case of human trafficking in Alicante. They've raided an house in Alicante, and in that house it was known as a brothel, or house as they say in England, and these poor girls of course come over here from the other country, and it was a 67-year-old and 3 women that are actually running it, the old madams as they say. And what they've done is the police have been watching it and seeing what's going on for a few months, and eventually raided the house, and they're really appalling conditions. Even though the women were getting half of the money that was taken, but the madams used to knock on the door when the time was up, and they weren't allowed to leave the house at all. Literally every day they were stuck in this room. And yeah, the police got in there and they actually raided it, and they were really appalled by the conditions of the place. There was 8 women from South America, Eastern European, and of course they were working in the degrading and deplorable conditions, they're saying, and they were forced by clients to participate in sexual activities, as they say. every hour, every day, every week. They were stuck in there. And a 47-year-old man, he was the owner of the villa, and the other women were 33, 55 and 67. They've all been arrested by the local authorities. When they started getting noticed, all the hours of the night, people were coming and going. That sort of flagged the investigation. Even though they were only getting half of the profits in this brothel, they were getting 400 to 500 bills for their rent a week. 400 or 500 a week they had to pay, and it was in a room, and it was like sardines. One of the bedrooms, they had 8 bunk beds in. They even had people sleeping in a garage, and they said there was only one toilet for all these people. And the police have arrested these 4 people, and they've arrested them for running, exploitation, and a trafficking ring, and prostitution through deceptive kind of means. This next case is a real strange one. In the Pyrenees, this chap called Alex, he had been camping out, and he noticed one of the trees had scratch marks on, had like a bit of bear fur around it. So what he done is he set up a camera. Apparently the camera had like half a year's worth of battery life, and he set the camera up, and then he went back to check what had happened the next day. It hidden it by the trees, and even the bear, it caught the bear on now, and a few foxes running around, as you can see in the video. These species have disappeared since the 20th century. He was saying when he set the camera up and he went back to check on it, he made sure he was making a lot of noise to, in case there was any bears nearby, because they don't like the noise and they move away, just for his own protection. And the government in Spain, it wasn't until the last 20 years, they decided to protect what bears were left here in Spain. This was in Aran Valley, which is one of the main tourist places in the mountains, and the bears were reintroduced in 1996, since there had been numbers that had grown, and sources from the General Cataluna state that some 50 bears currently live there already, and they reckon 10 which were born just last year. So this was all up in the Pyrenees, and he obviously went out to try and capture some bears. That's why he set up the camera. Once he see there where the tree was, where it had been clawing, that's where he knew where to place the camera. That's the bear down in the Pyrenees. This next one's a strange story, because as you know, everyone celebrates Christmas around December, and yeah, tradition of course, most around the world. But in Granada, a town in Granada, they celebrate in August. New Year's Eve, in the midst of August, and it's the festival of the Berkeles, declared an event of regional tourist interest in Andalusia. And it originates from an unfortunate incident in 1994, where they literally were celebrating the Christmas with the 3 wise men and everything, and then they had a blackout, a bit like what we had last month, where everything went down and no electric or anything, and it put a halt to their big party. And because of that, they decided to hold a festival, and they're holding it in August, and loads of people from around the world turn up as well. Every year these people in Granada have this big festival, celebrate Christmas, 3 wise men and everything. The full shawady-waddy, it's like a 3 or 4 day event. This year it's on the 1st of August on a Friday. A total of 8,000 people were going to be there. There'd be like nativity scenes and everything. You know, full of alcohol, parades, you name it, the full Monty. So yeah, big proper bash. And it's held over a few days. You've got a little museum. You'll have a lot of things up about the history of the place. So if you're thinking of going down to Granada, it's like I say, it's over a few days, and a lot of people book the hotels. They say you need to book early because it does get busy. If you want to celebrate Christmas in August in Spain, that's where you need to be. Other than that, you can come down to Torrevieja like the rest of these people. Look at that. You could tell everyone's arriving. So July and August, it's even going to get more packed. They've only just broke up yesterday, the kids, and holidays have just kicked in. Going to be like sardines. Already is, isn't it, eh? And if you do like the video and you want to buy me a coffee, like most of my subscribers already do, really appreciate that. I know you like the content, that's why you buy me a coffee. And if you want to see any other news, I'll post it just up there. But Saturday morning from Playa de Cura, Torrevieja, it's hasta luego.